We're going to take it up a notch today. You ready for this? We're going to talk about the secret to predictions. I know what it is, and I'm going to share it with you today. It's not going to be a secret anymore. Are you ready to go into a space that could empower you, open up gateways, and maybe you'll have an epiphany today with what I'm about to share. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. I haven't had my coffee yet because this was really important. Another download. I'm getting downloads all the time. Guess what? Everyone has access to this information. The difference between maybe what I'm getting and what you may not be getting is I don't have blocks to them. I don't have any preconceived ideas about what this is, where it's coming from, but I do know one thing. I know frequencies. We're going to talk about the secret to predicting futures. You probably know this, but most people don't believe this. There is no one future. There are endless futures. Predictions are based on frequencies at the current moment. This is why so many predictions don't come to pass. It's not that that person may have been wrong at the time, like Nostradamus and Edgar Cayce, but they both said that the things that they predicted won't necessarily come true. They're seeing what exists at the current time according to the current frequency of the people. Predictions, here's your secret, predictions are created by you according to what you believe is going to happen, and you make that happen. As a collective, we are not separate, of course, so we are seeing out there the results of the collective thoughts. Everything you see is not just things happening. That is the pulse of the frequency. And so if it's destructive or sick, that's what's in here. And that's the human race, not a country, not an institution. Blame is another low frequency. Here is something I want you to seriously consider. We're going to talk more about this subject. And that is absolutely everything that entices you to take a side or oppose is a low frequency negative nature, even if the side is for peace. Taking sides is opposition to the one. We are not separate. Separate is what has kept us ill. We've gotten our separation, right? We've been thinking this. They're wrong. They're having a conspiracy. They're doing this. Is still separation, even if you believe you're right, because everybody thinks they're right. Opposition will keep us in chaos, and that will be a different future. When you come out of that and you realize any opposing thought that you have, or blame, or taking sides, is still humanity's biggest, let's just say, dilemma. Staying in the low frequency continually causes conflict, no matter what the subject matter. Are you taking sides? Now, I want you to know that everything you see out there that places you in a position to want to take a side or get upset or get all riled up is planted deliberately to cause separation. What would happen if we all united in peace and community and started solving problems instead of complaining about me, and my personal needs? We would become so powerful. It would transform the entire planet. It would be a completely different prediction we could make right now. And that prediction is possible. We can go into the golden era, and it is happening with or without you. You get to choose if you participate. There is a golden era. We're going into it. It's already happening. The transition's been happening for years. People are awakening, and now we're going into expansion. And as I shared with you, 2022 is the year of action. Actually taking action with all the things we say are not right about this planet. If we have no respect for another or for our nature or anything else, We cannot go into the Great Awakening as individuals. You as an individual can. How do you do that? You have to live it. And living in the fifth dimension high frequency means you completely change your future. So everything that you see that you may have thought is horrible, and poor little me can't travel, or poor little me has to make some decisions about things, all ego-based low frequency. I'm not saying that to pick on you, because we're all humans, and all humans come with the low frequency ego energy field. That's what we are breaking through. And that's why Breakthrough Fear class, all I teach people to do is to recognize things and no longer react to it. We don't try to get rid of things because they do exist, but we are no longer entangled with it and we see it differently. The secret of predictions is that you have so much power, because we are all one energy field, that we can, moment by moment, change that future, and it has been changing. I sense that we've gone into a higher frequency, and that the big cataclysmic events that were supposed to happen will not. We do have more things coming. Why? Because if we want to go into positive change, high frequency change, things have to dissolve. So that means there's going to be some disruption. A lot of people don't like change. They don't like disruption, so they battle it. They want things to be okay for them. They want their own personal lives to function the way they want to. And so they're not considering the other. Separation is the lowest frequency. I'm going to keep saying it. When you come to terms with being one beautiful, amazing energy field that is playing out roles here on this planet, you'll understand that it's all a test for you personally to see if you can break through the separation, the anger, the ego, the me, the density, and to go into a space of compassion and love and giving, community and solutions. That will empower us as a species. But right now, everything that low density desires to affect is happening, because people are continuing to argue. And as long as you create conflict on a planet, you will create division, right? Divide and conquer. Are you doing that? Are you falling for that? Are you blaming? Are you feeling sorry for yourself on any level because of what we're going through? You believe that you're the only one? Everybody's going through this together. You're not alone. So it's not about you. It's about us. And that thing that's going on out there right now in many levels is a reflection of our thinking. Separation. We created illness. We as a species are ill. So what are we going to do? We have to go into the space of unity and love, and it will be reflected out there in health. Because when you get into anxiety or doubt or all these negative feelings, your DNA, this is a fact, your DNA coils up tight. It actually coils up tight. When you go to a space of peace and love and harmony, it opens up. Expansion. What does that do? It increases your immune system, all these other things. Wow, okay, peace and love does that. That's how powerful it is. And that is reflected out there. So when you go into this, you open up your magic, and it is reflected in the material world. It is 100% a reflection. And I got this download. It's 100% a reflection of our thoughts. Everything has consciousness. Everything is conscious. Everything's intelligent. Everything is intelligent. There's no inanimate object, including that sofa or whatever. It's not thinking, it doesn't have a brain like us, it's not built like us, but it has an intelligence. It has to exist. So my question to you is, are you ready to give up all separation, all blame, all finger pointing, all seeing somebody as evil or wrong? Or are you going to go into that space and let go of that? Well, then it has no power over you, right? Because that you believe is evil wants you to stay in a state of anxiety and anger and separation and blaming. It wants that. That's how it controls everyone on the planet and gets them to continue to do negative things for the ego, for me. What do I want? What is personally good for me? Whether it's killing the planet, other people, toxic stuff in our water, all of it. You have to start living the fifth dimension if you want to go into that space. You can't go up to the penthouse if you can't get on that elevator. And when you get on the elevator, it's powered by your frequency. So if you have a high frequency, you can get up there and have champagne and look at the beautiful view. You don't want to stay in the basement. This is all available to you. This isn't just some place that you go to and you meditate and you try and keep in a positive spirit. You are so powerful. You are the one, everyone is, and our combined thoughts, feelings, frequencies, all are creating the material world. We're that powerful. We are creating all of it. And that's why ghosts, aliens, fairies, all these things start to show up. That is all part of our creation. We can do anything with this. It's your mind, not your brain. Your brain is part of your body that's sending all this information through so you can function in the material world. But your mind, it goes way beyond this. The secret to the predictions is that it can change in a heartbeat. And if you today change your thoughts and realize, is there one thought of opposition, blame, anger, me, then you're going to the low frequency and you are getting sucked into the exact thing that keeps us in that conflict out there. No matter what you believe, if it's an opposition, it's separation, and the one is unconditional love. It's impossible for that to exist in the new earth. Yeah, I know. So a lot of you are saying you're sad because you can't travel or you're worried about this. Get over it. You know what? And I mean that in the kindest way. I mean get over it, because if you do get over that, you'll realize, wait a minute, it's good. Tomorrow it's going to be some new thing. And remember the killer bees and, and mad cow disease and all. What happened to all that? What was the 5G and all this stuff? Oh, now we're off to something else. It's always going to be something else. The something else stops when we stop being in conflict and fear. If you fear the future and you are walking around with that feeling, you're creating it. I see the future as huge transformation, huge awareness of what is not working for us, what has been total disrespect, and the reflections coming back in nature to say, this is what you've done to me. This is what you've done to me. And it's you. Because you're not poisoning me, you're poisoning you and everybody else. It has to stop right now. You guys, I have an Amazon influencer store, and every time I use a good product, I put it in there. Non-toxic, non-animal testing. Everything has to clean up. You can absolutely help the collective, contribute to the collective prediction of a new earth that renews itself. And anybody else who's trying to suck anyone in to negative thinking or opposition will have no power over them, because they can't make you think anything. Only you can do that. Are you ready to go into that space that says, you have no power over me? News, anything you're watching causing conflict in your head is doing it. It's conditioning, right down to commercials. Everything that is of a negative nature, that conditions you to eat a certain thing or act a certain way or take anything or whatever it is, it's all conditioning. And we're totally in control. No one's doing that to us. We are the us. When you recognize there's no division between you and I, we're one power, you'll know that the individual choice contributes to the one. And that's the game. We're in a holographic game that appears to be separate. It's not. However, you'll continue to create the low frequency through the thought of separation. That's the secret. The prediction could be amazing. And there's one. There's endless probabilities. There's one that you can pick. Everything that you see that is not working anymore, you can be a part of a movement of positive change and solutions and say, good, That hasn't been working for us. Everything. And so dissolving of what is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But if you're fearful of it, you're saying that you want to hang on to a world that's not been positive for us. And I don't think you want that. You gotta let go. So many of you are writing comments saying letting go is the biggest freedom. And I know some of you have taken my courses and master classes, have told me that that was one of the biggest things that opened the gateway, and that abundance and health and joy has flowed, and even that challenges are not considered negative. They're just another, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I contribute? How can I raise my frequency? Here's another challenge. There's something else that I can work on. It's all good, but only if you see it that way. It's a huge secret. It's a powerful one. You can change the future. Your prediction is yours. And so you can listen to predictions that people are going to say things that are going to happen, and none of it has to happen. That's a fact. So if you go into the higher space, guess what's going to happen? We're going to see changes out there. The big cataclysmic things that could have happened, that haven't so far happened, won't happen. Why? Because now we're neutralizing. We're going to go into a space of healing and renewal, of respect and joy, of everything. And that's your neighbor. And that whatever you do to what you do to the least of us, you do to me, said Christ. When does that sink in? And so no more feeling sorry for yourself because you can't travel or do certain things. Yay, write that book. Paint those pictures. Learn something new. Launch a business. I'm launching another business online for spiritually conscious businesses. And I'm going to help people to create those. What an amazing opportunity for us to take something that appears so negative and say, listen, we created that. Not a country or not this, humanity in general. It could never happen if we as humans didn't live in that space. What am I going to do with this time? What can I do? Are there people that I can help? Are there causes that I can contribute to? Are there groups that I can create and get together, even if it's online? What can I do in this time period? Poor little me is the ego, low frequency. You will never get into the new earth that way. You can't. It's impossible. 2 different frequencies, 2 different realities existing. You can go here. Everyone can. The person that you think is the most evil and lowly could be the person who does a total turnaround, has an epiphany and awakening, and goes into that new earth. But you criticizing them, well, that'll keep you from going there. You're capable of this. I'm counting on you because you're part of the collective of our little game we're playing here. We'll be off to new adventures. But don't you want a more amazing adventure when you leave here? Because you want to master this. And you don't have to suffer anymore. No one has to suffer here. And when you keep telling me that that's real, I'm going to keep telling you it's because you're creating it. And when you think differently about that, that actually will change. And all these things are going to open up, and you're going to realize we did it. We did it. And that includes any natural disasters. We have power to change that. It has not been anywhere near what they were supposed to be, right? Yeah. We're raising the frequency. We got to keep going at it. That's the secret. Yeah. Wow. I guess nothing's in stone, right? Nope. The stone's conscious too, by the way. Come on over to the Miracle Circle. We actually create a circle of light. We put blessings in there. We do a meditation once a month. In that month, you get training on how to get this in check. I actually empower you and show you through the Master Key system, the principles in there. I teach you different practices you can do every day that get you to focus constantly on positive change, understanding your power, using that power, and not allowing the things out here to hook you into something negative. It's designed to do that. It's designed to keep us in separation, fighting with each other. It's working. And it doesn't have to work. So come on over, join the Miracle Circle. By the way, you guys, in the description, you can find links to everything. And you can subscribe to Manifest Anything. That's free. When you sign up for that, you will get a free mobile app that has 5 what am I manifesting reminders and alarms you can set. 2 to 4 minutes I talk to you. What are you manifesting? What am I manifesting? And then I talk about different things, and I have beautiful music, and it's a disruptor. Because we have to do some work on this. We've been programmed. We got to work on it. That's consciousness. You have to be conscious at all times. You can go into the new earth. Absolutely. Your future could be amazing. All those things happening out there could transpire into something so amazing. It could be a demonstration of how we can be great with one another, how we can be compassionate, how we can be there for one another. We can't know that until we have opportunities of challenges to demonstrate that unity. So don't be the person who's complaining or pointing fingers, because that's you're pointing at. It's tough to imagine, but it's true. So please subscribe and share these. Share these videos and let people know that they are absolutely controlling that. They're creating it. They're sending their messages out. And they can go into a state of peace today. See everything different. Find the beauty and purpose in it. God doesn't punish anybody. It's impossible, because God is unconditional love and flows through everything. And that's you. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Those of you who want to get involved in creating online businesses, this is a very cool training platform that I took. I created several online businesses, a lot of spiritual people doing some cool stuff. Any kind of online business, they teach you how to do that. Step by step. Trainers, mentors, you got a whole staff of people, and some really cool people in the community too that are collaborating on stuff. So training, maybe you take one of these classes while you're sitting around, instead of feeling sorry for yourself. It's me. No, guess what? Everybody's going through this. So if you click here, these are free videos. You can check it out for yourself. If you don't like it, just unsubscribe. Find what works for you. All right? So, again, you are the power of the universe. You are unconditional love. You're light. You never lost it. You aren't having to contact your higher self. It never left you. You are it. You are what flows through that tree. You are the cloud. You are that little ant. You are every human. You are the power of one. Recognize that. And even if you can't wrap your head around it, know that with respect and love for absolutely everything comes amazing change. Positive, high frequency. Let's go there. Namaste.